Today on Animal Fact Files, we're discussing pottos. Even if you know what a potto is, it's almost impossible to describe a potto to someone who has never seen a potto. They're like a tree bear, short-tailed lemur thing. Pottos are about 20 inches, 50 centimeters long, with a 3-inch, 8 centimeter tail. They weigh around 3.5 pounds, 1,600 grams, and have brown-colored, thick, woolly fur. They're prosimians with hand-like, hands and also feet. Their back feet have a toilet claw on the second digit, which has a longer nail that's used for grooming their fur. They also have comb-shaped teeth on their lower jaw, which are also used for grooming. Pottos have thickened skin and fur along the back of their neck with whisker-like stiff hairs, which creates a shield-like structure. This helps defend them against predators. Pottos are arboreal. They spend most of their time in trees. There are currently 3 described potto species. These mammals live in West Central Africa, inhabiting various types of lowland forests, including swamps, savanna forests, and even plantations. They almost exclusively stay aloft in the tree canopy, gliding gracefully through the branches to avoid detection. In fact, in some parts of their range where people speak English, they're known as the softly for their gentle nature. Of course, they can defend themselves if needed. Predators to pottos include leopards, chimpanzees, palm civets, snakes, and more. Most of the time, when pottos encounter a predator, they tuck their head up against their chest and present their thick neck. They'll push up against an aggressor in an attempt to push them out of the tree. Pottos have an awesomely strong grip. They have special blood vessels in their limbs, which allow them to sit completely still for long periods of time without experiencing fatigue. So, when they shove a predator, they have a good chance of keeping their balance without issue. If they somehow aren't able to dislodge a threatening animal, pottos just drop out of the tree, run, and hide. Yes, although pottos spend a lot of time moving slowly through the trees, somewhat like a roving sloth, they have some seriously fast reflexes when needed. These mammals gather invertebrates such as ants, snails, slugs, beetles, and more while moving through the tree canopy. But they'll also remain still and snatch moths, birds, and even bats that fly too close. Pottos also raid bird nests and eat fruit such as bananas and figs. They're known as tree bears, likely for their small, round ears and short tail, but much like many bear species, they're omnivores. Pottos have a wet nose that helps them sniff out plants and animals alike, so they don't have to depend on vision to gather food. Regardless, they are nocturnal, so their need for sight isn't as important while foraging, although they have reflective eyes, much like cats, to help enhance their vision at night. Pottos are solitary. Apart from others who travel with their offspring, these mammals tend to remain alone. They communicate with each other by marking their territory boundaries with urine and other scent gland excretions. Apparently, pottos have a distinct curry-like smell. Their scent marking relays information to other members of their species who live nearby. This is how a male can learn females in and around his territory are ready to mate. He may solicit them by making a call, not unlike the call an infant potto makes to its mother. The two mate, sitting with each other on a branch, grooming one another, and then hanging from the branch during the act. They'll part ways within a few hours. It takes almost 200 days for the baby to gestate. Even when just a week old, the mother will park her infant in a secluded spot while she goes out to forage. The baby doesn't start going out with her permanently until around 3 to 4 months old, at which point it may ride on her back or follow her along the tree limbs. Young pottos practice their neck defense from a young age, slamming into leaves from atop mom's back or hitting branches while they wait for her to return. It takes about 2 years for a baby potto to reach reproductive maturity. Any daughters remain nearby, perhaps getting a portion of her mother's territory. A son, however, leaves to establish his own territory elsewhere in the forest. In captivity, these mammals have lived over 2 decades. However, it's currently unknown how long they survive in the wild. This video was made possible by our Patreon members, such as Warthog Power, who requested this animal, as well as everyone else listed here. Join us on Patreon if you want to offer your support and see exclusive content. Give a thumbs up if you learned something new today, and thanks for watching Animal Fact Files.